Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a powerful piece of wisdom from the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus. Now, you might have heard of Epicurus in connection with the word Epicurean, which often relates to fine food and pleasure. But his philosophy was actually much deeper than just seeking fancy meals. He was all about finding true and lasting happiness. And one of his most insightful quotes on this topic goes like this: "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." Let's break this down in simple terms and see how this ancient advice can still be incredibly relevant to our lives today. The first part of the quote, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not," is a powerful warning about the nature of our desires. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves focused on what we don't have? Maybe it's the newer phone, the bigger house, the more stylish clothes, the seemingly perfect relationship that someone else has. We get so caught up in this pursuit of more that we often fail to appreciate what's right in front of us. Imagine you have a comfortable home, a loving family, and enough food on the table. These are fundamental things that bring a lot of security and comfort. But if you're constantly fixated on getting a mansion with a swimming pool, you might start to see your current home as small and inadequate. You might even become unhappy with it, despite the fact that it meets your needs and provides shelter and warmth. In this scenario, your desire for something more is actually spoiling your appreciation for what you already possess. It's like having a delicious meal in front of you, but instead of enjoying it, you're constantly looking at the menu, wishing you had ordered something else. You end up not fully savoring the food you have, and you might even feel a sense of dissatisfaction even though you have something good right there. This constant chasing of what we lack can create a cycle of unhappiness. We achieve one thing and almost immediately, our attention shifts to the next thing we want. We rarely take the time to truly enjoy our current possessions or circumstances because we're already looking ahead to the next acquisition or milestone. This can lead to a feeling of perpetual dissatisfaction, where we're always feeling like we're missing out on something. Think about your own life. Have you ever bought something you really wanted, only to feel the excitement fade quickly as you start thinking about the next thing on your wish list? This is exactly what Epicurus is warning us against. This constant desire can overshadow the good things we already have and prevent us from experiencing true contentment. Now, let's move on to the second part of the quote. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. This part offers a powerful antidote to the trap of endless desire. It encourages us to take a moment to reflect on our past and acknowledge how far we've come. Think back to a time when you really wanted something that you now have. Maybe it was getting into a certain school, landing a particular job, finding a good friend, or even just having a reliable car. At one point, these things were just hopes or dreams. You probably put in effort, faced challenges, and felt a sense of joy and accomplishment when you finally achieved them. But how often do we actually remember that feeling? Once we have something for a while, it can become easy to take it for granted. We forget the initial desire and the effort it took to obtain it. It just becomes a part of our everyday reality, and our focus shifts to new desires. Epicurus is reminding us to consciously bring those past hopes into our present awareness. By remembering that what we have now was once something we longed for, we can cultivate a sense of gratitude. And gratitude is a powerful emotion that can significantly boost our happiness and satisfaction with life. Imagine you finally got that job you always wanted. Initially, you were probably thrilled. You felt a sense of accomplishment and security. But as time goes on, maybe the daily grind starts to wear you down, and you begin to focus on the aspects you don't like or the desire for a promotion. Epicurus would say, "Wait a minute. Remember how much you wanted this job in the first place. Remember the relief and excitement you felt when you got the offer." By consciously recalling that past hope, you can reignite your appreciation for your current situation. This principle applies to so many areas of our lives. Think about your relationships. Maybe you longed for a close friend or a loving partner. Now that you have those relationships, do you always appreciate them? Or do you sometimes get caught up in minor disagreements or focus on what you feel is lacking? Remembering the time when you hoped for these connections can help you value the people in your life more deeply. Even simple things like having access to clean water, a warm bed, or enough to eat were once things that many people could only dream of. In many parts of the world, these are still cherished hopes. Reflecting on these basic necessities that we often take for granted can bring a profound sense of gratitude and perspective. So, how can we apply this wisdom from Epicurus to our modern lives? First, we can practice mindful appreciation. Take some time each day to consciously acknowledge the good things you have in your life, no matter how small they might seem. Instead of immediately focusing on what's missing, take a moment to appreciate what's present. Second, make it a habit to reflect on your past desires that have become your current reality. Maybe keep a journal where you can track your goals and dreams. When you achieve something, take a moment to look back at when it was just a hope and savor the feeling of accomplishment and gratitude. Third, try to be aware of the trap of comparison. In today's world, with social media constantly showcasing curated versions of other people's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like we don't have enough. Remind yourself that what you see online is often not the full picture, and focus on appreciating your own unique journey and possessions. Fourth, practice contentment. This doesn't mean giving up on all your goals and ambitions. It simply means finding a sense of peace and satisfaction with where you are right now, while still working towards your aspirations. It's about enjoying the present moment without constantly feeling like you need more to be happy. Epicurus wasn't advocating for a life of deprivation. He believed in pleasure, but he understood that true and lasting pleasure comes from contentment and appreciating what we have, rather than constantly chasing fleeting desires. So, the next time you find yourself longing for something you don't have, take a step back and look around at what you already possess. Remember that many of those things were once just a hope in your heart. By shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present, you can cultivate a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment in your life.